My name is Chris Grosso, and I am author of a book called Indiespiritualist that came out earlier this year. I'm also a spiritual director, and I write for various publications like Origin Magazine, Mantra Yoga and Health Magazine, Huffington Post, and I have fun going out teaching and doing workshops. So that's a little bit about me. Adam, who are you and what do you do?
All right. How are you guys doing? First of all, I'm also super excited about this, to be teaching this with Chris and also our good old friend, Andrew. So a few things about me. I recently co-authored a book called Occupy Spirituality, A Radical Vision for a New Generation. It was co-authored by an old mentor of mine called Matthew Fox, that's his name, and he's this radical theologian who really inspired me. And the book is really about this new generation of seekers who all of a sudden are realizing that, you know, they don't necessarily fit within one specific religion, but they do have deep longings for a deep spiritual life, a life of meaning and purpose, a life that allows them to kind of reclaim their gifts, their talents, and offer them to the world in a way that will help them to work on building a better world, so to speak. And so my work is essentially about that. I work with homeless youth in New York City and also other young people, helping them to connect with their true calling, helping them to develop a good spiritual life, helping them to essentially find their vocations, find their talents, and start using them in service of compassion and justice.
Mm. Beautiful. And how about our friend Andrew Harvey, who doesn't really need an introduction, but just for the few people that might not have heard of him?
Absolutely. So Andrew is this amazing teacher, and if any of you have ever heard him teach, you know, in person, I mean, he's just this amazing person who can kind of just show up and deliver beautiful messages that come straight from his heart. You know, he's a scholar of religion. He himself practiced many different traditions, and at some point in his life, he felt called to combine his contemplative spirituality with a prophetic call for justice. And so a lot of his work right now is essentially about empowering people to discover their own true spiritual path and to essentially work for justice, to work towards a world that reflects justice and compassion and beauty. And we're so excited to have him join us. He's been a mentor and a friend, and it's just, I think he's one of the most important teachers, you know, out there nowadays. So it's a privilege to have him with us.
It is. Yeah, a real honor. So in this workshop, you know, participants are going to learn the value of rebelling against dogmatic belief systems and questioning practices or habits that imprison their soul as they create a spiritual revolution of their own. And no, I definitely was not reading that off of anything. So a couple of bullet points that I really think break this down, though, that, you know, in the next minute or two we can just briefly summarize on, is that we're going to cover, Adam, with Andrew, how to realign the self to a greater sense of purpose, what it means to be spiritual without being religious, and how to create a spiritual practice that is right for you. These are all things, obviously, that we're both passionate about, Adam. I know we do a lot of work with youth. But the beautiful thing for me is, you know, not only do I do work with youth and write with youth in mind, I get letters and emails from people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, that grew up in the counterculture revolution of the 60s, and they resonate with this. You know, it's a similar message, just a bit of a different time. So realigning the self to a greater sense of purpose. What do you think, Adam? What are we going to talk about there?
Well, you know, I think I have this belief, you know, that every one of us comes here with a specific task, a specific talent, specific gift that we bring into this world, and that our job is essentially to bring these things into the world and help the world become just a bit better. And so part of our conversation is going to be about how to get in touch with that gift, how to get in touch with our true purpose. What kind of contemplative practices can we adopt in order to really get in touch with that call that we can all feel in the depths of our hearts, you know?
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that's great, and I couldn't agree more. And then what it means to be spiritual without being religious, that's something that I'm very passionate about. It's not that there's anything wrong with religion whatsoever. That is a great container that works for a lot of people, but a lot of the youth today, it doesn't resonate for them, so they're finding their spirituality elsewhere, which is something we will go deeply into in this program. You know, and you can find spirituality while you're skateboarding, for example. What were you going to say, Adam?
How to do it in a deep way. So it's not just about picking and choosing, but rather how do you adopt some of those practices from different traditions, or how do you turn your skateboarding into a practice in a way that will enable you to go deeply into your soul, so to speak, make
Absolutely.
real progress. You know, get really serious about living your dreams, so to speak.
Yeah. And I think that also already goes into the third bullet that I talked about, was how to create a spiritual practice. That's just the tip of the iceberg, what we've already discussed, but we're going to go really deeply into that in this first of the four-part series we'll be doing with Andrew. It's going to be hosted by Syncast, which is syncast.net. And anytime now, I'm sure there's going to be a really sweet title card that they're going to have pop up where you can easily just click it. It'll bring you right to the page to sign up. Adam and I, and on behalf of Andrew, are thrilled to be doing this, are really excited to bring it to you guys. We would love it if it's of interest to you to share it with your friends and your community. We all have a deep passion for this work, so we would really love to get it out to as many people as possible and hopefully help make an impact in their lives. So, Adam, any last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I feel really honored to be part of this. It's so nice to be to be able to do this work together. And I hope that, if you guys feel called to be part of this, I hope that this will be a really life-changing experience, not just for you, but also for us. Because ultimately, my hope is that all of us can be changed by the energy that together we can evoke during this course.
Beautiful. Thanks, Adam. And thank you guys for watching. We're really excited to further this conversation on December 9th.
Thank you, guys.